Okay, welcome back to the channel once again. It is your match preview between Liverpool and Leeds United at the weekend. And before I get into the game, the latest news that I'm gathering is that Liverpool have sacked their set piece coach, Aaron BRIGGS. It's been announced that this was a decision made by mutual consent. So the two parties agreed to part ways. But obviously, it is quite obvious that this has come on the back of Liverpool being the worst team in Europe for set piece balance. So what I mean is that in terms of set pieces, goals conceded from set pieces, excluding penalties, Liverpool are the worst in Europe. And Liverpool have conceded 12 goals from non-penalty set pieces. So that includes free kicks, corner kicks, throw-ins. So Liverpool has conceded the most goals. And to make matters worse, Liverpool has scored the least goals, at least in the Premier League, when it comes to set pieces. So the balance of our set pieces has been absolutely abysmal. And when you put this into context, it is very clear that had it not been the poor set piece balance that Liverpool have had this season, things would have been looking much better. If we take away our struggles, Liverpool's struggles when it comes to set pieces, Liverpool would have had about 6 or 7 more points this season. And so this has been a very big problem for Liverpool so far this season. And I think parting ways with the set piece coach, who I've heard someone say that he was actually an unqualified person to have been appointed to be the set piece coach because he has never had any experience doing this job. And I think he had a previous role at the club which had to do with fitness and individual development and individual conditioning. And he was promoted to be the set piece coach this particular season. So I think this is a clear case of promoting someone to his level of incompetence. So I wouldn't blame Aaron BRIGGS necessarily for this particular situation because he was not qualified to do the job. Liverpool elected to give him the job anyway. And so that is not the problem created by Aaron BRIGGS. It is rather Liverpool who acted a bit negligently. And that happens in big organizations. People get promoted until they get to their level of incompetence. For example, an excellent data analyst could be promoted to be a team lead and manage people, even though that is not necessarily the skill that brought him to the company. So he might end up failing because he's not a good people person, but he's a good data analyst, and I've seen that on many occasions. So it is a good decision that they've made. It is always not a good thing for people to lose their jobs. But in this particular case, I hope that Aaron BRIGGS would be able to find something else to do in his career. This is not by any means the end of his career. And for Liverpool, it is important that having made this crucial decision in the middle of the season, we take the right steps to correct the wrongs that has already happened. So that is on Liverpool's set pieces and our set piece manager. Now let's get into the game. It is Liverpool playing at home against Leeds United in the Premier League. And so far, the key insights that we know from this game is the fact that Liverpool have had a turn in our form. So in our last 7 games, Liverpool are unbeaten in all competitions, and we've won the last 3 Premier League games so far, including a 2-1 victory against Wolves in our last game. and Liverpool are currently fourth in the Premier League standings. Now, when we look at Leeds United are also enjoying a resurgence. So they started quite poorly. Now they are beginning to turn things around. They are actually 7 points clear of the relegation zone. And that is very, very impressive from the way they started this particular season. In terms of the head-to-head, the overall head-to-head favors Liverpool. Liverpool have had 5 wins. Leeds have only won once against Liverpool and had 2 draws. The previous game against Leeds United came in a 3-3 draw away at Leeds. And the last goal that Liverpool conceded obviously came from a set piece in the 90th minute, or beyond the 90th minute, let me say. So again, Liverpool were undone in this particular fixture earlier on in the season, I think just a few weeks ago, by a set piece. And that is how come we drew that game 3-3. Liverpool would have easily won this particular game had it not been the set piece incompetence of the team. Now let's look at some key absences. When we look at, for Liverpool, we know that obviously Mo Salah is out of the team. He's unavailable because he's at AFCON playing for Egypt. Alexander Isak is out with a long-term injury, at the very least 2 months. He's going to be out. Joe Gomez, Wataru Endo are also recovering. So we might hear some good news from the manager in his pre-match press conference, which I think is going to be held maybe tomorrow. So we'll wait for that. Giovanni Leone is also out with a long-term injury. And the good news in this particular fixture is that we have Dominic Szoboszlai coming back, our player of the season so far. Dominic Szoboszlai is going to be back from his suspension after picking up 5 yellow cards in the Premier League. We also know that Cody Gakpo is back. He played a few minutes in our last game against Wolves. Conor Bradley is available, and Jeremy Frimpong. They are all getting back to full fitness. So that is very, very good for the rest of the season. Hopefully, touch wood, they don't get another injury. Now, let's look at the very ingredients of this game that we would expect to determine who comes up top in this particular fixture. Now, when we look at Leeds United, now their biggest threat is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's their striker. He's their top scorer so far this season, and he's been scoring goals left, right, center. So Liverpool need to be very, very wary. And for me, the only way we can stop Calvert-Lewin is not trying to stop him from scoring necessarily after he's received the ball. But the way we stop him is to cut the supply line, is to prevent the ball from getting to him in the first place. And that we cannot do with any single player, but it has to be a team effort. We need to cut the supplies. We need to keep the whole Leeds United team at arm's length. And as I've said earlier on, Liverpool don't have easy games or difficult games. You might have thought that the previous game we played against Wolves was our easiest game of the season because they have only 2 points so far after 18 games. But not surprisingly, this is the Premier League, and therefore, no matter how bad a team has played previously, you need to earn the right to win any given game. They did the same thing against Arsenal. So it wasn't like Liverpool is the only team who have suffered to beat this Wolves team. The fact that Manchester United thumped them 4-1 doesn't mean that everybody else is going to get it that easy. Every game is different. Every game is different. So there are no easy games. There are no difficult games. We just have games, and we need to turn up every single time. And I think Liverpool have done that so far in the season. In terms of our ability to win this game, I think our attacking play is going to be very, very crucial. This particular run of form that we've picked in the last 7 games hasn't come because we've been free flowing in attack. I think it has come because we've been solid at the back, and we build from that solidity at the back because we have excellent attacking players who will always be able to take advantage of few moments in the game to get a goal or two. So I think this particular game, we need to be solid at the back, but at the same time, we need to be efficient up front. We are not going to create too many chances in this game. And so we need to take the chances when they do come our way. When we have opportunities to counter-attack and break quickly, we need to take the chance. We need to make the most out of those chances, because I don't think we'll be able to break them down surgically by passing the ball, pinning them back, and moving the ball in such a way that we create loads of chances. It is not going to happen. It is going to be from taking advantage of slip-ups, being there and making goals here and there, just like we've done in our last 3 games that we've won.